Yeah, everyone, welcome to Primary Market Chatter, brought to you by Sunday Investing. This is our November first week IPOs edition. So we review the IPOs which come in from a fundamentals perspective and try and put a balanced perspective on what we think with respect to the IPOs. We have been doing this for the last 18 months now. We started in July 2024 and it's been 18 months that every week whenever there's an IPO, हम उसका रिव्यू करते हैं बैलेंस पर्सपेक्टिव से एंड ट्राई एंड पुट व्हाट वी आर प्लानिंग टू डू विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द आईपीओ. This is a special edition where we are only covering one company specifically. Studs का हमने कल कर दिया था आईपीओ एंड श्रीजी का भी कल कर दिया था. So if you haven't seen it, the link is in the pinned comments. वहाँ पे YouTube चैनल का लिंक है. वहाँ पे हमने स्टड्स और श्रीजी का रिव्यू डाला हुआ है. So go ahead and listen to it at your own leisure. Today we'll only be covering Lenskart because we understand that there's so much hype with respect to the company, both in positive as well as negative sense, that we wanted to spend some time in order to do justice to the issue and wanted to cover it separately. But before we actually get started, a couple of housekeeping news which I always put out. One, we are not SEBI registered research analyst. हम लोग SEBI registered नहीं है. So none of what we are saying is essentially qualified opinion. Whatever we are saying is what we will be doing with our own IPO application. Please do not copy it. Please do not think that what we are saying is right. We are wrong as well. We are wrong multiple times. So you do you. We don't understand which situation you are applying IPOs in. What is your current financial situation? What is your long-term duration? What is your duration for holding the IPO, etc. So you do your own due diligence. This is more of just a chat between what we are planning to do with our IPO strategy and what we try and just talk about nerdy stuff with respect to what we like about the company and what we dislike about the company. Second thing, again, like I said, if you haven't joined our YouTube channel, the link is in the pinned comment. Similarly, if you haven't joined our Instagram, the link is in the pinned comment, जहाँ पे हम ये डालते हैं. Having said that, I was seeing a couple of comments with respect to that. Want to listen to the positive side of the space as well, of the IPO. We never said we'll be positive with respect to the issue. We try and put a comprehensive review from both the sides of the view. We don't really have a side usually. What we try and do is we try and tell what we do with respect to IPO. So definitely make sure that आप अपना decision खुद से ले रहे हैं. You're not getting influenced, especially because Lenskart is a slightly tricky IPO right now because everybody has a POV on Lenskart. So we don't claim to be expert. We are not claiming to make a recommendation. We are just talking about with respect to what we like in the company and what we don't like in the company. And we will kind of go from there. Having said that, one more thing which I want to highlight, because I'm getting this multiple times कि YouTube channel पे ना language auto dub होके हिंदी में आ रही है because of which is AI generated. So I want to tell we haven't changed any setting from our side. If you the minute you start listening it's Hindi auto dub, go ahead and change the setting. उसको आप original पे कर दो तो इंग्लिश में दिखने लगे. And I am saying this majorly for when I record this so that people know that we haven't changed anything in terms of the setting of the video audio. It's still a majorly a इंग्लिश प्लस हिंदी सॉर्ट ऑफ अ सेटअप जहाँ पे हम दोनों मिक्स करते रहते हैं. हैविंग सेड दैट, विद दैट मे बी वी कैन नाउ गेट स्टार्टेड. So setting up Lenskart Solutions, established in 2008, company एक technology focused eyewear company है involved in design, manufacturing, branding and retail of prescription eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses and accessories. So Lenskart although needs no introduction, जो हम usually specs वगैरह मंगाते हैं online, that company is Lenskart. It has a major market share in the Indian market segment and almost everyone already knows about it. They started in 2008 and is the pioneer and the leader in specs, selling specs online. And they also have a omni-channel right now where they sell online as well as they have multiple retail stores. बात करेंगे आगे when we talk about it. Just setting up the IPO, it's a 7,278 crore IPO. 7,200 करोड़ का आईपीओ है जिसमें से 2,100 करोड़ 2,150 करोड़ इज अ फ्रेश इशू. 5,000 सीआर का ओएफएस है, बड़ा ओएफएस है, बड़ा आईपीओ है. ओवरऑल मार्केट कैप जिस पे कंपनी आ रही है वो 70,000 करोड़ का है. तो बहुत बड़ा मार्केट कैप है कंपनी का एंड वैल्यूएशन भी इसकी काफी क्वेश्चंस में है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हाउ दे हैव वैल्यूड द कंपनी. फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूं तो FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स में रेवेन्यू 7,000 करोड़ है, 7,000 करोड़. पैट 300 करोड़ का है. सो 10 टाइम्स सेल्स पे कंपनी आ रही है एंड पीई पे बात करूं तो अराउंड 230 टाइम्स पीई पे आ रही है. इट्स अ जोक दैट हाउ आर दे प्राइसिंग इट टू सो हाई. वील कैन टॉक अबाउट इट एंड आल्सो अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू लुक एट दिस कंपनी इन टर्म्स ऑफ द वैल्यूएशंस. एलएम की बात करूं तो एलएम, कोटक, मॉर्गन स्टैनली, अवेंडस, सिटी, एक्सिस एंड इंटेंसिव है. So with that, let's start the review of Lenskart. Tanmay, I will start करें if you want to just start the business model now.
Yes, I'm okay. आवाज ठीक से आ रहा है मेरा?
Yeah.
So, like, today's space should will be done completely into English. Reason being, I don't want few people who completely rely on English missing out on the space. So, Lenskart Solutions Limited is Asia's and India's largest organized eyewear retail chain. It's a consumer tech unicorn startup with focus on the mission of eyewear for all. So, like, as we all know, India is the myopic capital globally. This has been due to rapid increase in the digital penetration, inclined towards mobile working. Mobile means, I mean, एक जगह पे बैठ के काम करना, rather than using the mobile phone. And also the increase in the screen time of the youths, like from COVID times to now, the average screen time has been on the uppish, and even for everyone, like adults, be it, childs, and the use of screen has been going on a very, robust tangent, leading to lots of myopia and, issue in the farsightedness and all that stuff. So this has been, leading to witness of lot of eye related health problems. So Lenskart is into, by the way, Lenskart has a completely integrated operations. It spans across designing, manufacturing, building, retailing eyewear products. It provides affordable and quality eyewear, selling prescription glasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, and eyewear accessories. So, like, coming on its business model, it has got an omni-channel kind of a presence. So this has got two subdivisions. First is your online, and second is the retail. In online, these guys have got at this point 10 crore downloads, which is like insane. In the retail, these guys have got 2,806 stores globally, ending 31st September, out of which 2,137 are in India and 669 are out of India, which is overseas. The company has got 266 remote ophthalmic stores in Japan. It recently started into Thailand. It also has got stores in Singapore, UAE. So, like, in the business model, these guys have got, so out of the 2,806 stores, 1,825 are Coco. Coco is company owned, company operated. 306 are FOFO model, franchisee owned, franchisee operated, and 6 are COFO models. So, this also states clearly that company has got more emphasis towards opening its own stores to get, better control over the product, better control over the quality and the consumer experience. So now, coming on its facilities, the company has got four facilities, rather five. One is in Gurugram, one is in Bhiwadi. These guys have got a JV in China, where they have a small facility. They have a facility in UAE, and one facility is into Singapore. So the Bhiwadi facility, in terms of complete integrated operations, is the second largest, rather one of the top two. We don't know it is first or second. One of the top two largest facilities globally. These guys have got 23 sub brands, and main brands include Lenskart and Ondays. So Ondays was a acquisition done by Lenskart, which was based in Japan, and it has got operations in Japan as well as the Southeast Asian markets. The company has got some, good brands like John Jacobs, Ondays, Hustler, Hooper, Lenskart Air, Vincent Chase, etc. So, like, before jumping into the IPO size and all that stuff, we can hand over it to others to get the views till this point.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Tanmay, for setting it up. I majorly wanted to understand, to begin with, Persev, and before I actually hand it over to Rohit. Rohit, I understand you are in South Africa, so you have a POV with respect to majorly valuations, which we'll cover towards the later end when when Tanmay is covering with respect to details of the IPO. But Tanmay, iska, like, what is the competition ecosystem? Who all are in the competition in India, in world? Like, would Dr. Agrawal be a competition? Or like, how much of the segment is organized, unorganized? If you could just put some color on that, and then I can hand it over to Rohit.
So the markets in India are majorly unorganized. Like, still in India, when we talk on eyewear, it is just our legacy shop, which is like some near in our city, where we go and make our own specs. So I don't have the exact data, but I feel only one fifth the market is one-fifth or rather one-fourth is organized and rest is unorganized. Now, talking on the competition, honestly, these guys have got low or none competition. Like, at least as per my knowledge, I don't know. I have got no knowledge about a decent size eyewear retail chain. If you just talk on glasses or eyewear, you can get Luxottica as one of its peer, but यार वो बहुत अलग player है, that is not an omni-channel retail. It is into purely into, I guess, a global player, and the ticket size is also better. It like majority of its products don't come into your affordable segment. They are into premium, mass premium, and luxury segment. So no much idea. Rather, there are no significant, competition available, or someone like recognizable at least of their size, scale, and the business model.
Would Titan Eye be a competition? Titan Eye they had a lot of stores in between, right? I don't know how it's playing right now. And then second question, I think with respect to organized market, I read somewhere that it's 40% right now is in India is organized, and it has grown from 23% in 2023. So 40% right now organized, and they have also taken a big share out of it. So it's like the biggest leader in the organized market, but they definitely get the numbers correct once because check. You said 20,
Like,
right?
but
I said 40.
40% looks astonished to me, frankly. यार 40% बहुत ज्यादा
हाँ,
होता
एक
है
बार देख
even.
लेंगे वो.
हाँ,
But Titan Eye का क्या scene है? Like,
हाँ.
how's Titan Eye placed? Is it a part of Titan Group itself? Like, where is it?
Correct.
Like, is it?
So, Titan itself, has got a good presence. Like उनका पहले मॉडल ये था कि जो इनके टाइटन के मेन स्टोर्स होते थे जहाँ पे ग्लासेस वगैरह भी बिकते थे, वहां पे भी these guys used to put in those stores. But like off late, these guys have started their own Titan Eye Optic, a special kind of Coco stores. So that so like what I can remember, like out of 2024, my knowledge is ki that segment for Titan as such was growing at a very good scale, but at still, like for as a total revenue of Titan, it is somewhere around, I guess, mid single digit. So like still, if you just look at the revenue of what Titan has, it is still a small part of their overall revenue. The scale of the Titan is not as much as Lenskart. Maybe it is not comparable. Also, it is there, yes, but the scale is like pretty small than Lenskart.
Also, the number of stores Titan has, Lenskart has more than 3x stores what Titan has. Titan has around 700 to 750 stores, while Lenskart has more than 2000 stores. So that
Got
is one metric to track as well.
got
And
it.
also,
Perfect.
this Titans, whatever stores we are seeing, it might be somewhere around 800. These, I don't feel 800 completely should be exclusive Titan Eye stores. It can be your Fast Track plus Titan Eye and kind of stores. Exclusive शायद उसे बहुत कम होने चाहिए, is what my reading is.
Yes, mix of both. Fast Track, Titan Eyewear Plus, and all sorts of brand that they are selling.
Got it. Got it. I have a question which says that try and talk your view on Piyush Bansal buying at 50 and selling around 500 with respect to valuations. And maybe that is a good point to get Rohit's POV as well and just set it up, Rohit. If you could just set your POV and then we can come back to Tanmay with respect to a specific of the IPO valuations what and the raise amount, what they are planning to do with it.
Sure, Manish. I'll just share a few points that are there in my head, and then I will drop off because I have to go somewhere. But there are just 3, 4 things that have been running through my head over the last, like whatever little bit I'm seeing on my phone from time to time, the kind of criticism that is there. So I'll just address these things. They may not flow perfectly into the space so far, because it might be based on some points that Tanmay will cover in the future. But let me start with that 52 rupees point. And this also is split into 2 parts. There is the buying at 52 rupees and there is the selling at 500 rupees. Now the buying at 50 rupees is a fairly normal thing with new age companies. What I mean is, so we saw that last with, in a slightly different form, we saw that with Blackbuck, where where the promoter was gifted some shares from his investors for bringing the IPO. Piyush Bansal has done it slightly differently, where he took a loan and bought at this price. The idea is, and this is based on my own personal experience also, as conversations I have had with, say, some of my investors many years ago, which is once you dilute, when you run a startup, and you keep diluting, you dilute for growth, you dilute for the investments you're making in your team, etc., the promoter shareholding goes down to, like say, Piyush Bansal's 20%. Now, what investors say is that, when the company does well and as it starts looking increasingly likely that there will be an exit, there will be some, IPO or some kind of liquidity event, they will allow the promoter to claw back some shares so that his promoter shareholding starts becoming more significant. This is a promise that I have myself heard. This is what we saw at Blackbuck. I know multiple people who have gone through the same process. And what has happened with Piyush Bansal, at least in terms of that purchase, is exactly this, which is his shareholding had reduced to a certain level, and having got it very, very close to an IPO, the investors allowed him to increase his shareholding again. Now, so this part is good. You understand why he did it. Just remember that there is a selling shareholder, right? It is not like Piyush Bansal bought at 52 rupees. A bunch of his extremely smart, astute PE investors who have priced this IPO at the current price have sold at that 1 billion valuation. They're not dumb. They're not idiots for selling to Piyush Bansal. So it's very, very obvious that this is a transaction that is done with a different intent, not to price at 1 billion valuation, but to give Piyush Bansal increased shareholding. So I will leave that point aside. And for me, it's very clear that this is what has happened there. Now, the second thing, which is why sell today in this OFS, what he said in a Z News interview is that he had to sell. There was some compulsion. He would not have wanted to sell, but he had no choice. That is something I have not been able to validate. I don't know why a promoter has to sell in an OFS. I know in an OFS you can have a mix. Some sellers, some people can sell, some can't. So that part is still unanswered for me. But the bit on the 52 rupees, it's crystal clear. This happens multiple times when promoters have diluted to a very low level. It is an agreement that they would have with investors that if I get closer to an IPO, I want to increase my stake again. So I start looking like a promoter again. I'm not just an employee, but I am a promoter and I have significant shareholding. Apart from this, so I leave this point aside since this was the question you asked, Manish. Apart from this, there were 2-3 other things I wanted to touch. Firstly, seeing so much criticism, so unwarranted. I mean, let's take, I know this some time back, but let's say Zinka, right? Blackbuck, Aether when it came, Swiggy when it came. Same kind of criticism, maybe not to the extent that we're seeing in Lenskart where every influencer is jumping on. This criticism was there also. Those are unprofitable companies. So where is even PE multiple? This one is at 230x, that would be minus 300x. Criticism was there, listed, people moved on. Like once the stock listed, everyone has forgotten, what multiple has come, it's not come at. So just remember that don't use the criticism to influence your view. Just look at it objectively. Just looking at a PE multiple itself is so silly. When you're just imagine, I don't know if you guys remember when Zomato first turned profitable. So they were loss making. Stock price, don't remember the exact price, but it was near that lows, or just maybe it had started bouncing from its lows. Suddenly it turned profitable. When it turned profitable, its PE multiple was astronomical. But people were so happy that Zomato turned profitable that it shot up. That was the start of that rally, or it was like early on in the rally, a couple of 2.5 years ago. At that time, the PE multiple would have been some 1,000 also, God knows. It not very far today also. It is still in the 100-500 range. But when something goes from loss to profit, while it is in the public market, everyone is happy. But if something goes from loss to profit when it is private, and it has become profitable and then come to list, suddenly everyone looks at 230 as if that's a steady state number. So just don't waste your time on PE multiple. The moment somebody says PE multiple, this is 230x, just switch off. That person does not know anything about the markets. And I would say for the first time, I agreed there was this interview with Shankar Sharma, where I agree with him that this company seems to be getting singled out for some reason, which is not clear to me, but it isn't coming at any exorbitant ask. It is actually coming very reasonably, which maybe Tanmay will also cover later. Another point, just as a mental model is, see, PE first, you look at the price to earnings first, but many kinds of businesses are not ripe for a price to earnings multiple. Maybe they're loss making, maybe they've just turned profitable, maybe they have other, kinds of depreciation and stuff like that. So then you look at EV EBITDA. There'll be those that are, not yet mature on the EV EBITDA level, and then you come to price to sales. This company actually has a very reasonable EBITDA multiple. Forget EBITDA multiple, but a very reasonable EBITDA. Even if you include the interest cost, like, so some of their interest costs are actually their rental costs of stores. But even if you include that, they have very, very strong EBITDA. You can actually apply a perfectly reasonable EBITDA multiple for this business. So it's not mature on a PE basis, but it is much more mature on an EBITDA basis. So apply that. Compare the EV EBITDA of this company with any other you can do it with a consumer brand. You can do it with any of these, offline, so the Trends, the DMarts of the world. You can compare it with all the internet companies, and you will find that it is by far the cheapest on EV EBITDA metric, especially on a FY26 EV EBITDA. Then comes sales, but sales, you don't even need to get to sales when you have EV EBITDA. Even on sales, in my view, it is reasonably priced. So I think the most important thing from this aspect is just try to get relatively the right peer set to compare with. Don't waste your time on 230, 240 or whatever bullshit people are saying. Look at the right metric. The right metric is, in my view, an EBITDA metric here, and it is extremely fairly valued on that metric. Just a couple of sort of generic sort of housekeeping points. See, don't forget what this business is. They are a high growth global consumer brand, which is again very rare. You firstly don't even get global consumer brands from India. There are one, two, maybe Bajaj sells its motorcycles outside India and autos outside India, but there's like hardly any consumer brands from India that actually are, MNCs, if I can call it that, while growing at 25% or more. These guys, such companies will always get high valuations. This guy goes from the mass, sub 1,000 rupee frame to a 10,000 plus frame. Probably still has to go some way to compete with the Ray-Bans of the world. But he's trying to sort of straddle that entire segment, which is again a very, very difficult thing to do. Just imagine that you are paying 60 times, 70 times for a HUL, which is like one kind of a consumer brand, growing 1%, 2%. What might you give for a Zomato or a Lenskart or whatever, right? These guys growing at 25, 30%. Just one thing I'll add here is, for me, what I have observed with the market is 25% is that sweet spot, that magic number. As long as these companies grow at 22 to 25% plus, they get a premium. If that growth drops below, if it comes at 15%, 10% range, people will just forget about the company. So if you can't keep, so with this company, with Urban Company, all of these guys, you have to make sure that you are tracking that growth number. It is at least 25%, otherwise the market will destroy this company. The last thing is, this is, okay, and there's a point for all of you to also do your work and research, but do you believe this is a technology company or not? Many of you would have seen what Piyush Bansal says on Shark Tank, how he evaluates companies. Forget the valuation point. What does he look for? He always looks for some kind of technology, some moat, some differentiator, right? Do you think that Piyush Bansal is the kind of guy who will build just a glasses company, or will he actually build a technology company? So try to form a view on this. I'm not saying I have the answer, but my view is, from everything I've heard, seen, how knowledgeable he seems to be on the technology side, I don't think what this guy can do with a Lenskart, say a Titan in India, will ever be able to replicate. If smart glasses have to come in to India in a big way, and it's not, and it has to be sort of customized to India, a Lenskart is much more likely to do it than, say, a Titan. If, say, manufacturing itself, right? Core glasses, the manufacturing of just frames, everyone relies on China. To bring that to India at a cost that is competitive will require a lot of investments. Nobody has done it yet, but this guy's trying to do it. So look at who the promoter is, what his capabilities are, what he's trying to achieve, and again, decide whether you would value this company like a Titan, or would you give it a premium for a combination of growth and ambition and vision and so on. So these are the few things I wanted to say. To me, the company feels a very high quality company. As long as it's able to keep growing at that 25, 30%, it is, in my view, very, very reasonably priced. Now, the day that stops, I will change my view. But for me personally, I'm going to definitely apply. I've been waiting for this for a while. I will be applying full force. I think there are 150 anchors who agree with me. So I am expecting this to do very well, at least in the short term. Once it reaches a certain multiple, it's going to stop, right? It can't keep going up forever. But I do think there is something left on the table.
Thanks, Rohit. Thanks for the exhaustive view. I was listening to Motilal Oswal today's mention, so someone asked him the same point of view that what do you call about it being a 230p? He mentioned that this is a global company, so like it needs to be very individually evaluated. I wish that he had answered that it is not a steady state P. It is a transient P. What it might again do is it might go back to losses. Who knows? Who knows? Urban company went into losses, right? But just to single it out, saying that hey, it's at 230p, it should be at 15p, 25p, 35p, doesn't make sense simply because that P number is transient, right? Like abhi Ola came in discount, right? So nobody said P. So like P number is transient, so it needs to be looked in that sense, right? Where you are not just being fixated that this is at 230p. I'm saying it might still be expensive. I still think that it is expensive. Most of the new age companies are priced very well to perfection simply because PE, VC investors are pricing them and then there is a short term euphoria. So they come back usually, which might be the case here as well. But just to say that it's 230p, that's not the steady state PE, right? Steady state PE to kuch aur niklega per se.
Look at Ether. Ether was negative, it's still negative, and look at where it has gone post listing. So this whole PE business is, and it's not even that was negative PE, but this PE business is a waste of time. Don't look at PE for this segment. Market doesn't look at it. You can look at it if you want, and then you can like miss out on. Okay, let me put it this way: you are not investing isolated from everyone else, saying, okay, I think this company should be at 36p, right? If you want to make money, you need to think like the market. The market doesn't care about it, so therefore, why should you? Now, if you still want to care, that's your call. But it is better to just understand how the broader market is viewing every company, every segment, every type of company, tech company, not tech, and then apply that lens for the company that you're evaluating. And Lenskart is a combination of a technology company, a consumer brand, a global, like an MNC from India, at a very reasonable EBITDA multiple. It is cheaper than Trent, it is cheaper than DMart, cheaper than every single consumer tech company that's there. So I don't understand this. I mean, the first time itself I heard Lenskart is expensive, I couldn't understand it. And I still don't understand it. So anyway, to each their own. We will see what the market does. Ultimately, you have to make your own call, do your own research, do your own numbers, see if you're willing to pay that. Anyway, for me, this is an IPO apply. I'm comfortable at the IPO price. If it does give a 20, 25, 30% pop, then it starts becoming little iffy and risky for me. So I find the IPO pricing completely reasonable relative to everyone else, where everyone else is also trading at like some mind-boggling number. So therefore, why shouldn't Lenskart?
Or everyone else should come down, right? Like what might also be the
Which will
case
not
is everyone
happen.
else
Which
is.
will not happen. Yeah. I mean, it will not happen in the short term. It can happen in a
No,
6
no,
month,
I
12 month,
can
of
tell you,
course.
right?
Yeah.
I can tell
Yeah.
you it might happen. Like, see, it all comes down to growth end of the day. Like, if you have growth, then the market, and the perfect example of this is First Cry. First Cry listed well. There was so much pop which happened, but then the growth never came. So this is a very similar model
Correct.
to First Cry, I feel, because they also have stores. They're selling kids, toys, right? This guy's selling your specs. So similar models, but end of the day, the growth multiple. If you can figure out growth, and again, I haven't been able to figure out what the growth would be. I'll come back to Tanmay when I reach out to him for that. But yeah, thank you, Rohit, for sharing your POV. And then now over to you, Tanmay, to talk about the valuations and the revenue, what the company has done. Where is that revenue coming from? How much of it is organic? How much of it is inorganic? Because we have chatted about it quite a bit, right? While we have been forming our view. So if you could cover that, that would be helpful. And thank you, Rohit, for covering your POV.
So I would start with the IPO size and the objects of the issue. So company is raising 7,278 crores, out of which 2150 crore is a fresh issue and 5128 crore is of OFS. From the fresh issue, the company has kept 273 crores towards starting new company-owned, company-operated COCO stores, which are 620. So the company had disbursed as 2806, out of which 1825 are COCO. So exactly it is a 33%, one third jump over like from the new stores which the company has from the funds the company has kept from the IPO proceeds. The company has kept 591 crores towards payment of those lease rentals towards the new COCO stores. The company has kept 213 crores towards technology and cloud infrastructure, 320 crores towards brand and marketing, and there is 650 around crores for acquisitions and general corporate purposes. So like there has been some kind of rumors around that the company should do like one or two acquisitions like post listing. So might be the funds raised from the IPO should be used from like for those acquisitions. Coming on the financials, the company did a revenue of 3788 crores in FY23 with a EBITDA of 260 crores. So like there are three kinds of EBITDAs here. Okay, you need to be very careful while listening. First is EBITDA including other income. Second is EBITDA excluding other income. And there's an EBITDA में भी एक चीज है. One is Ind GAAP and one is I GAAP accounting and one is Ind AS accounting. ठीक है. तो जो Ind AS होता है उसमें क्या होता है, जो EBITDA होता है उसके बाद आपका लीज रेंटल लाइबिलिटी आता है. मतलब जो स्टोर बनाता है उसका जो खर्चा देना पड़ता है वो EBITDA के बाद आता है. सो दैट इज इररिलेवेंट. एंड जो आई GAAP अकाउंटिंग है दैट इज कोर ऑपरेटिंग EBITDA. तो like the EBITDA I'm telling you now is excluding other income and post deducting the lease rental liabilities, which is a core profitability, core EBITDA, core profitability. ठीक है, इसके अंदर कोई भी adjustments नहीं है. Like one more very clear thing which is good for like I liked in this company is जो मैं आपको नंबर बता रहा हूँ दैट इज पोस्ट डिडक्टिंग दी ESOP कॉस्ट. कई बार क्या होता है जोमेटो में वी सॉ दिस इन पेटीएम, एबिटा के बाद वो ESOP कॉस्ट लेके फिर उसको और एडजस्ट करते हैं, उससे वो एबिटा पूरा मर जाता है. मतलब कुछ भी नहीं, धूल मिट्टी उड़ती खाली. सो द नंबर आई एम टेकिंग नाउ is post adjusting everything and is an operational core operating PAT. इसके बाद कोई एडजस्टमेंट नहीं है. एडजस्टमेंट खाली डेप्रिसिएशन है विच इज नॉन कैश. थोड़ा डेट है इन पे तो उसका रहेगा एंड योर टैक्सेशन. ठीक है. सो इज अ कोर ऑपरेटिंग पैट. FY23 revenue 3788. So by the way, revenue is also from operations. Okay, excluding other income. Other income मैं बोल ही नहीं रहा. 3788 crore operating revenue, 260 crore का EBITDA and 64 crores का net loss. ठीक है. FY24 में द रेवेन्यू जम्प्ड टू 5428 crores, EBITDA at 672 crores एंड 10 करोड़ का छोटा सा लॉस था. In FY25 the number went to 6,653 crores with an EBITDA of 971 crores and a PAT of 297 crores. इसमें दो चीजें. फिर जस्ट लुक एट PAT, आपको इसका नंबर जो है वो 1200 कुछ करोड़ दिखता है, बट दैट इज बिफोर डिक्रीजिंग द लीज रेंटल लाइबिलिटीज. तो मैंने आपको जो नंबर बताया स्कोर प्रॉफिट. अभी इसका जो 293 करोड़ को जो भी प्रॉफिट है 297 का, उसके अंदर अराउंड 330 करोड़ की तो एडजस्टमेंट्स है, विच इज योर फेयर वैल्यू ट्रांजेक्शंस, FVTPL है. उसके बाद इसके अंदर कुछ म्यूचुअल फंड्स जो इन्होंने पहले लेकर थे उसको रिडम्पशन किया हुआ है. सो ये सब चीजें एक्सक्लूड दैट ये लॉस में अभी भी. ठीक है. ऑपरेटिंग पैट दे आर प्रॉफिटेबल बट एट अकाउंटिंग पैट दे आर एट लॉसेस. ठीक है. सो ये जो पी का कॉन्सेप्ट है इधर ही खत्म हो गया, क्योंकि ये दिस इज नॉट अ स्टेडी स्टेट पैट, इट इज अ वन टाइम पैट विच विल गेट वैनिश. बट इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट Q1 में द रेवेन्यू वाज एट 1895 crores एंड EBITDA ऑफ 336 crores एंड पैट ऑफ 61 crores. सो इसके अंदर तो मेरे को कोई एडजस्टमेंट दिखे नहीं. सो ये प्रॉपर पैट है, प्रॉपर अकाउंटिंग पैट है. सो इन Q1 द कंपनी इज रियली इन रियलिटी टर्न्ड प्रॉफिटेबल. हाँ, अगर आप इसके अंदर और आप बोलोगे कि मैं अदर इनकम पूरा ही निकाल दूंगा लाइक फ्रॉम द पैट, तो वो फिर से लॉस हो जाएगा. बट इट डजंट मीन कि जो भी पैट है वो अदर इनकम के कारण है. इट डजंट मीन. बट जो पैट इज स्टेडी स्टेट, इट इज हियर टू स्टे. Q2 में क्या होगा मुझे नहीं पता. ओके. सो नाउ इस कंपनी का सबसे अच्छा बात जो मुझे लगा विच इज लाइक शुड बी हाईलाइटेड हियर इज कंपनी कितना कैश जनरेट कर रहा है. दैट इज एंड मतलब इट इज लाइक आप किराना दुकान में बैठे हो तो आप ग्रोथ कितना कर रहे हो, EBITDA पैट से मतलब नहीं पड़ता, गले में कितना पैसा बचा. द नंबर इन FY22 स्टूड एट 1230 crores, 1230 करोड़. दिस इज कैश जनरेटेड फ्रॉम ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज. ठीक है. नेट कैश फ्लो तो माइनस होता रहेगा, रीजन बिंग आपका सारा लाइबिलिटीज वगैरह आती रहेगी, दैट्स अ सेपरेट मैटर. नेट कैश जनरेटेड फ्रॉम ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटीज स्टूड एट 1230 करोड़ विच इज जोमैटो का जिंदगी का पूरा कैश. ठीक है. इतना ये साल में जनरेट किया है. सो लाइक मेक इट वेरी क्लियर. अभी द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन विच रोहित भाई ऑलरेडी कवर्ड कि ये 52 का 400 कैसे हुआ. सो मैं अपना भी देता हूँ, वी आर मोस्टली ऑन द सेम पिच, मैं अपने हिसाब से बता दूंगा. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू नीड टू थिंक फ्रॉम दिस वे कि यार लेट्स से आपके दिमाग में कॉन्सेप्ट आया कि यार मुझे एक ह्यूमनॉइड बनाना है, ह्यूमन रोबोट, ठीक है, एंड यू गो एंड आस्क फॉर अ फंडिंग, यू कम टू मी कि तन्मय भाई मेरे को फंडिंग चाहिए यार, मुझे ये प्रोडक्ट बनाना है, आई विल से गेट लॉस्ट. दैट इज एक्सट्रीमली प्रैक्टिकल, दैट शुड बी द रियलिटी. I should say get lost. If I want to invest in your company, I'm going to take a big equity from you. Reason being, the idea is very innovative and the chances of failure are more than 80%. Okay? The chance of failure are more than 80%. So when these new entrepreneurs or promoters come in to pitch some unique idea, just think यार 2010 में है कि मैं एक eyewear की omni channel retail chain बनाऊंगा, is one of the most bullshit ideas. You know, now it is very relevant. That time it was a bullshit idea, but the big P investors invested in it. So in exchange, these guys took a big equity, and that is fair. So due to the innovative concepts and this startup world, the promoter gets diluted by a very large margin till the public offering comes in. So just think, man, Piyush Bansal 16-17% लेकर बैठे still, which is extremely better than the other, startup founders. And this is one of those few startups जिसके अंदर promoter भी है, बाकी सब professionally manage हो जाता है. Just look at Pine Labs, promoter पे 3-4% है boss, इन पे फिर भी 16-17% है. So when you go public, it is pre-decided क्या है, और एक वो अरेंजमेंट्स होती है, उसको अग्रीमेंट्स कह लो, सॉफ्ट कमिटमेंट्स, वॉट एवर इट इज, केस टू केस, कि like after some certain milestones or achievements or a valuation achievement or a revenue achievement or the company going for an IPO, any of these 5-6, the promoter or rather founder is rewarded with some equity, and this is pre-decided. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि यार जी फाइल और चलो यार मेरे को शेयर चाहिए. It doesn't happen that way. So the promoter has upped his stake by 2%, and for that he took that loan. Okay, उसने अपना स्टेक बढ़ाया एट 52 रुपीज, आता $1 बिलियन, कुछ 8200 करोड़, 1 बिलियन से हल्का सा कम है, 950 मिलियन के वैल्यूएशन पे हिट इट. सो ये जो सोशल मीडिया में घूम रहा है ना कि 52 का लिया लोन लेके और 402 में बेचा, दिस इज प्योर बुलशिट. जो ये बोल रहा है उनके दिमाग में खाली मतलब कुछ नहीं है, जीरो. दिस गाइस हैव गॉट एक 2-3 चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स देखे, मतलब कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं उनके सीए शिप की, एक्सट्रीमली पुअर माइंडसेट पीपल. इनको इतना सा भी दिमाग नहीं. इवन जिंदगी में आप अगर एक स्टार्टअप से थोड़ा भी डील किया तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि ऐसे सारी अरेंजमेंट्स होती है. ब्लैक बक के टाइम में दीज गाइज वर स्लीपिंग, रीजन बिंग तब एंगेजमेंट नहीं आ रही थी ट्विटर पे, तब किसी को नहीं समझा ये. एंड नाउ सडनली दिस इज कमिंग इन, दिस इज कंप्लीटली क्रैप माइंडसेट. ओके, सो फर्स्ट दिस इज लाइक नॉनसेंस, इसको फिर से डिस्कशन इसका नहीं होगा. सेकेंड, वैल्यूएशन, द बिगेस्ट आई फील जिसको डिस्कस करना चाहिए ऑन अ ब्रॉड बेसिस इज वैल्यूएशन. पी ऑफ 297, यार कहां से कोई स्टार्टअप को पी पे देख रहे हो जो पी है ही नहीं, मतलब पहले तो लॉस मेकिंग है. सो आई फील द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक इज डन बाय लेंसकार्ट कि उन्होंने प्रॉफिट क्यों दिखाया. लॉस में रहते तो पी निकलता ही नहीं, ये सारी चीजें आती ही नहीं बाहर. सो पहला तो पैट है ही नहीं, जो है वो लॉस है. सो पी इज इररिलेवेंट, इसको आप देखो ही मत. अरे और मैं अभी आपको ना इसका नंबर्स आने से पहले मैं आपको थोड़ा कंज्यूमर टेक कंपनीज एंड स्टार्टअप्स के आपको मैं FY28 के नंबर जरा घुमा के लेके आता हूं, ठीक है. दिस आर ऑल बीन टेकन फ्रॉम माय पर्सनल रिसर्च कंबाइंड विद फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशनल FII की ब्रोकरेज रिपोर्ट्स, ठीक है. तो लाइक द चांसेस ऑफ दीज गोइंग रॉन्ग आर लेस, significantly less. Like if JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley is wrong or someone like Citi is wrong, I can also be wrong. So Nykaa is trading at 55 times FY28 EBITDA. 55. Okay. Zomato is trading at 90 times, 90 times FY28. First Cry is trading at 35 times FY28. Cartrade is trading at 50 times FY28. DMart is trading at 37, 38 times FY28. Trent is trading at 32 times FY28. Titan is trading at 35 times FY28. Bluestone is trading at 40 times FY28. Ola minus Ether plus हो जाएगा, बट वो ट्रिपल डिजिट में जाएगा. यूनिकॉमर्स इज अ डिफरेंट प्लेयर गोइंग एट 15%, सो दैट्स नॉट कंपेरेबल. अभी मैं आपको इसका नंबर सुनाता हूं, उसके बाद कम ऑन द वैल्यूएशन पार्ट. 69,500 करोड़ पे मार्केट कैप टू सेल्स बनता है 10.5 टाइम्स. ईवी से स्लाइड कम हो जाएगा क्योंकि कंपनी की बुक्स पे कैश पड़ा है. वो आपका डेट के सामने नॉक ऑफ होके वो प्लस में आएगा तो इट विल गेट माइनस फ्रॉम, आपका ईवी कम हो जाएगा. सो इट शुड बी समवेयर अराउंड 10 टाइम्स ईवी बाय सेल्स. अभी कमिंग ऑन दी ऑपरेटिंग EBITDA 67 टाइम्स FY25 पे है. FY25 जो अकाउंटेड है ऑलरेडी, ओके, 67 टाइम्स आ रहा है उसके ऊपर. FY25 26 पे कंजर्वेटिवली इट इज प्राइस्ड एट 45 टाइम्स EBITDA एंड 8.5 टाइम्स 8.5 टाइम्स सेल्स. यहाँ पे EBITDA मैंने 1450 करोड़ लिया है, विच इज वेरी कंजर्वेटिव. आई फील उससे हल्का सा ज्यादा ही आएगा, सो बट लाइक आर इंटेंट इज टू टेक इट वेरी कंजर्वेटिवली. FY27 पे the market cap to sales is coming at 6.5 times with EV/EBITDA coming at 35 times. 1850 crore का EBITDA पकड़ा गया, which is somewhere around 22% growth, which is very reasonable. अभी FY28 का नंबर इज प्रिटी इंटरेस्टिंग. इट इज समवेयर अराउंड 25.5 26 टाइम्स. तो आई फील इसका प्राइसिंग किस तरीके से किया गया वाज आइडियली इट वाज 35 टाइम्स 27 और इट वाज 25 टाइम्स 28. इस तरीके से कुछ बैंकर्स ने इसका प्राइसिंग बिठाया है. सो दिस इज द cheapest consumer tech company available in the Indian stock markets at this point. You compare with the top 10, उसमें से 2 कंपेयर नहीं होंगे, 8 में सबसे सस्ता है. ठीक है. और टॉकिंग ऑन लेंसकार्ट, पहले लेंसकार्ट वर्सेस आप दूसरों का आप थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड समझ लो. कैन कार ट्रेड बी अ ग्लोबल कंपनी? नो. कैन जोमैटो बी अ ग्लोबल कंपनी? नो. कैन नायका बी अ ग्लोबल कंपनी? नो. कैन पीबी फिनटेक बी अ ग्लोबल कंपनी? नो. कैन ब्लूस्टोन बी? नो. द कैन एथर बी? नो. ओला तो महाराष्ट्र में भी नहीं बन पा रहा है. कैन लेंसकार्ट बी अ ग्लोबल कंपनी? 100% यस. अब इनके मार्जिन पे आता हूं. सुनो, वेरी दिस इज अ वेरी गुड 2 minutes टू हियर. आपको पता है लेंसकार्ट में ग्रॉस मार्जिन कितना है? 79%. 79% इज देयर ग्रॉस मार्जिन. बाकी सबका 5 से 15% है. कैन लेंसकार्ट मेक अ 20% पैट मार्जिन आफ्टर 3 years? आंसर इज 100% यस. कैन जोमैटो में 5% के ऊपर नहीं जा पाएगा. नायका में 2% पे लुढ़क रहा है. कैन पीबी फिनटेक में मे बी 10% तक पहुंच जाएगा. कैन स्विगी में 100% नो. 28 में प्रॉफिट आएंगे, मेरे को उसी पे डाउट है. आ गए तो अच्छी बात है, वी आर हैप्पी. कैन ब्लूस्टोन भी? यस, दे कैन बी टिल 5%, उसके ऊपर नहीं जा पाएंगे. कैन समवन लाइक यूनिकॉमर्स भी? यस, दे कैन बी, बिकॉज इट्स अ SaaS बिजनेस, इट्स नॉट कंपेरेबल. सॉफ्टवेयर सर्विस में आपका कुछ खर्चा होता ही नहीं है, एवरीथिंग इज अ पैट. Can someone like Ather or Ola be? 100% no. So Lenskart is technically the only company which can be global. It's the only company which can make those crazy margins going forward. क्या ग्रोथ कर सकता है? यस कर सकता है. और आपको जो भी मैंने नंबर्स बताया उसके अंदर कोई भी एक्विजिशन नहीं है. जो नए स्टोर्स आ रहे हैं उसका फैक्टर इन बड़ा कम किया गया है. जस्ट आपका 20-25% का वेरी ऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ हैज बीन टेकन इनटू कंसीडरेशन विद भाई प्रीमियमाइजेशन नहीं होगा, रियलाइजेशन नहीं बढ़ेगा, चश्मे के भाव बढ़ेंगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे, वो महंगे वाले ग्लास बिकेंगे नहीं पता हमें. सो दिस हैज बीन एक्सट्रीमली कंजर्वेटिव. तो आई फील यार 20-25 टाइम EBITDA पे, मतलब why there is so much noise towards this company. Now like I personally feel कि ये ऑपरेटिंग लेवल पे 20 टाइम FY26 28 EBITDA पे होना चाहिए था, विच इज समवेयर अराउंड 55 to 60,000 crore मार्केट कैप. यस, आई अग्री, इसको सस्ता किया जा सकता था. एंड आई फील बैंकर्स हैव प्राइस्ड इट रॉन्गली. आई फुल्ली बिलीव दिस. इट इज एक्सपेंसिव. इसको सस्ता किया जा सकता था, बट क्या ये इस वैल्यूएशन पे गाली खाने के लिए पात्र है? द आंसर इज 100% नो. 24 कैरेट चीज है, गोल्ड है, गोल्ड के भाव पे ही मिलेगा. आपको अगर ट्रेंट और टाइटन लेने में मजा आ रहा है, जो लाइक आई फील आफ्टर 4-5 years लेंसकार्ट शुड बी अहेड ऑफ देम इन टर्म्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग. क्या ये उसके आधे भाव पे आके गाली खाने का पात्र है? आंसर इज नो. सो लाइक आई फुल्ली बिलीव this company in very short term can trade at 30 times FY28 EBITDA. जो peers का जो average है that is somewhere around 45 times. 45 might be higher, 40 times के आसपास का average है अभी. because peers these all are the estimates and they are bound to change. ठीक है. and I feel ये change होंगे भी तो कैसे? you just think every report made for those companies has been made फॉर एन इंसेंटिव, जो वो भी थोड़ा कहते हैं ना मॉडरेट टू बुलिश केस में ही बनाया गया. तो आपको मैंने सारे नंबर्स बताया, ये भी हायर है थोड़े से, असलियत में से कम ही आएंगे. एंड दिस गाय इज वेरी कंजर्वेटिवली कमिंग एट 25-26 टाइम्स. बाकी सब का एवरेज करूंगा मैं तो 35-38 टाइम्स तो कहीं नहीं गया, उसके ऊपर ही आएगा. सो आई फील 20% इज केप्ट ऑन द टेबल विच इज एक्सट्रीमली शॉर्ट टर्मिश इन नेचर. उसके बाद क्या करेगा इज अ डिफरेंट मैटर. अभी इसका कंपनी का सबसे बड़ा मैं दो प्रॉब्लम्स है बताता हूँ. फर्स्ट, if you just look at the growth at standalone level, बट इन स्टैंडअलोन इज आप इसके एक्विजिशंस निकाल दो. एक जापान का इन्होंने बड़ा एक्विजिशन किया, उसको निकाल दो, और इनका कुछ तो एक एक्विजिशन पुराना था, उसको निकाल दो. कंपनी ग्रोइंग एट समवेयर अराउंड 18-20%, विच इज लेस फॉर मी एटलीस्ट, गिवन द वैल्यूएशंस दे आर कमांडिंग. ये अगर 20% प्लस होता, इट कुड हैव बीन मोर बेटर, बट वो 2-3% से बहुत फर्क नहीं पड़ता, इज व्हाट आई फील. बट द डे द ग्रोथ गोज बियॉन्ड 20%, ये स्टॉक पिट जाएगा. बट एटलीस्ट इन FY26 से ग्रोथ मेरे को 25% दिखता है. 27 में मेरे को विदाउट एन एक्विजिशन 18 से 20% दिखता है. आई एम 100% श्योर, Piyush Bansal साहब is 100% smarter than me. He is thinking of couple or thrice acquisitions from here, जो उसको 20% तक टिका देंगे ये. So next 1.5 year, I feel 1.5 year, this company will very generously trade at very rich valuations. उसके बाद if the growth taper downs between that 15, 17, 18 is still generous. 15-17% पे आ गए, ये पिट जाएगा स्टॉक. बट तब तक इसका पैट है ना 500 करोड़ प्लस हो जाएगा, नहीं फिर 1000 करोड़ हो जाएगा. कैश इसका 2000 करोड़ प्लस रहेगा, क्योंकि 1200 तो अभी कर रहा है, 3 साल बाद तो 2000 करना ही है इसे एट अ वेरी कंजर्वेटिव लेवल. ठीक है. सो आई विल बी अप्लाइंग यस, आई विल बी exiting the stock after somewhat around 25% gains. 20-25% मेरे को दिखता है इसके अंदर, क्लियर शॉर्ट टर्म गेन्स दिखते हैं. क्या ये कंपनी 6 महीने के अंदर 1 लाख करोड़ मार्केट कैप टच कर सकती है? मुझे लगता है कर सकती है. देयर इज सम प्रोबेबिलिटी, बट मेरे को उस पर नहीं खेलना. सो माय व्यू इज वेरी सिंपल. आई विल बी अप्लाइंग फॉर लिस्टिंग गेन्स. आई विल बी अप्लाइंग फॉर शॉर्ट टर्म फ्रेंजी. शॉर्ट टर्म मतलब 5-10 दिन, 2 दिन, 4 दिन, वॉट एवर इट इज. आफ्टर दैट आई विल बी एग्जिटिंग. आई विल बी लुकिंग एट परफॉर्मेंस. और ये 1 लाख का बनकर मैं तब ले लूंगा अगर जब तक मेरे को विजिबिलिटी नहीं आ जाती. ठीक है. सो आई फील आज तक के इंडिया के इतिहास की ये स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड की सबसे अच्छा आईपीओ है. सबसे अच्छी कंपनी, सबसे अच्छा आईपीओ. प्राइसिंग अगर 55 से 60 हजार में होती, आई कुड हैव बीन द हैप्पीएस्ट पर्सन ऑन दिस प्लेनेट. ठीक है. महंगा रखा है इन्होंने, अग्रीड, बट जितना लोग हल्ला कर रहे उतना नहीं है. सो लाइक आई लाइक द प्रमोटर. यस, शायद वो 2-3 जगह पे और बटर्ड वे में रादर सही से जवाब दे सकते थे, बट दैट इज ओके यार. दुनिया में हर देयर इज अ डेटा 98.5% प्रमोटर्स ने अपनी जिंदगी में एक ही कंपनी को लिस्ट करा पाते हैं. खाली 1.5% प्रमोटर्स 2-3 कंपनियां लिस्ट करते हैं. सो दीज एंड ऑफ द डे ही इज इन द बिजनेस फॉर 15 years. ही हैज बीन ऑन द शार्क टैंक, अग्रीड. उनको पीआर हायर समझता है, अग्रीड. बट इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि हर बार आदमी एकदम 100% एक्यूरेटिव होना चाहिए. 1-2 जवाब दे दिए ऊपर नीचे हो, लाइक it doesn't show he has got ego, and it doesn't show he has got attitude. And if he has ego, yes, let it be. तुम और मैं यहाँ पे छोटी सी नेटवर्क लेके बैठे, वो आदमी 500,000 करोड़ की नेटवर्क लेके बैठा है. सॉरी, फॉर दैट मैटर 20% कितना होता है? 15,000 करोड़. उसका $2 बिलियन का नेटवर्क है. तुम यहाँ पे करोड़, 2 करोड़, 10 करोड़, 20 करोड़ पे खेल रहे हैं. he should have that attitude. It is fair. मैं उसको बुरा नहीं मानता बाय एनी चांस. ही शुड नॉट हैव दैट आइडियली, बट इफ ही हैज सम काइंड ऑफ, इट इज ओके. So I would discount those 2 statements given on the television. I would clearly feel कि जो ये outrage हो रहा है ना सोशल मीडिया is nonsense. ये जो 2-4 सीए साहब है वो अपनी डिग्री खराब कर रहे हैं ये सब बोल के, then leave it there. But I will be applying, और इसके अंदर कोई डाउट ही नहीं है. I don't see this getting listed at discount at any. मेरे को बिल्कुल नहीं लगता ये होगा. अगर हो गया, like it's not up to me. I don't feel it is happening. I'm extremely bullish. No, I'm not, but I'm bullish. Yes, I'm bullish. Extremely और bullish में difference है. I'm bullish. अगर 55,000 पे आता है, 60 पे, तो still I would have been much comfortable. 70 पे I've got doubts, but yes, they have left 20% short termish gain, जो 1 साल के अंदर म्यूचुअल फंड्स के लिए बड़ा जनरस है. So I don't foresee, brutal selling coming in. Maybe 3 महीने बाद आ जाए, you never know, no one knows. फर्स्ट क्रैक क्यों मरा? रीजन बिंग ग्रोथ इनकी 10-15% हो गई, जो पहले 20% प्लस थी. फॉर दैट रीजन सेम कैन बी हियर ऑल्सो. वी डोंट नो 27 में कितना ग्रोथ आएगा. कोई एक्विजिशन नहीं कर पाएगा तो 15% पे आ जाएगी, मर जाएगा स्टॉक. 60-50 हजार में मिल जाएगा, दैट इज ओके. बट मैं इसमें 20% बड़ा शॉर्ट टर्म गेन देखता हूँ, एंड आई एम इन टू अप्लाई दिस. सो दैट्स इट.
Got it. Thank you, Tanmay, for this. I would go to Sachin for your view, but yeah, before that, I also want to highlight that I have put in one viewpoint, which is what is the viewpoint which I got from one person in DM, which says that I think we have covered quite a few things out of this, like normalized PE, 530. See whether you want to look at normalized or not. Core business EBITDA is at loss. Profit comes from non-operating sources. Check lease liabilities, goodwill and intangibles. 30% proceeds only going into the company, out of which 40% will pay store rent. Capacity utilization is below 50%. So all of those are pointers which I feel we have covered at different point of views. And again, that's the whole point of markets. For every buyer, there has to be a seller. So especially at IPO price also, the company is selling, someone's buying, everybody is free to do what they want to do. I would probably just give my POV before I hand it over to Sachin. I would apply, but I think it's a richly valued company at the current setup. So I would apply, I would let the short-term frenzy be, and I would get out simply because this is not the market cap which I understand. Like I wish I was, uh, like I understood how companies would move at like a 1 lakh crore M cap. So I would get out, and then if it becomes cheap, I would probably buy again. But there's a high probability that I might miss it. If in case it goes up, continues to go up. If that happens, I would be very happy living that this is not the only stock where I have to make money. So I'm definitely in it, going to apply for it. I'll be hypocritical if I say that I'll not apply to it. I'll apply to it and then I'll see what to do with it. But that is what my view is, just my view. You do you. Everybody should do what they feel is comfortable with. With that, over to you, Sachin, for your POV.
So, before it goes to Sachin, I wanted to put in 2-3 more points जो मैं शायद धीरे भूल गया. First is on the capacity utilization. FY25 was at 48%. Q1 has been 55.5%. And in the roadshow, these guys have said कि हमारा पूरा 26 का it should be upish 60%, which is okay. But like you think from a different side is कि इनका जो ये कैपेसिटी है इसके अंदर आपका यूएई और सिंगापुर का भी कैपेसिटीज मिले हुए हैं. ओके, एंड दोज हैव स्टार्टेड आई फील इन 2023 और 24 इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, जिनको मच्योर होने में टाइम लगेगा. ठीक है. एंड इसका एक अच्छा बात ये भी है कि इनको अगले 3 साल में कोई केपेक्स की जरूरत नहीं है, एंड द मार्जिन आर गोइंग टू जस्ट गो अप फ्रॉम ईयर. रीजन में आपका कोई अपफ्रंट केपेक्स का कॉस्ट नहीं जा रहा है, जस्ट द न्यू स्टोर्स का कॉस्ट एंड द रेंटल्स विच आर गोइंग इन. सो दिस इज लाइक इट्स अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. मेरे लिए वो अच्छा हो सकता है, किसी और के लिए खराब हो सकता है. मैं इस तरह से देखता हूँ कि अगले 3 साल को कोई खर्चा नहीं करना है. कोई और देख सकता है कि यूटिलाइजेशन कम क्यों है, बना नहीं पा रहा है क्या. सो लाइक जस्ट गिवन द स्केल यार, इन्होंने 2 करोड़ 70 लाख चश्मे बेचे हैं FY25 में. 2 करोड़ 70 लाख. द स्केल इज डिफरेंट लेवल. 2 करोड़ 70 लाख छोटा नहीं होता है. इट इज मैसिव. Second, these guys are launching digital glasses या meta types के glasses ये launch कर रहे हैं, which these guys have said of late, which was earlier not in public domain, which suddenly came into public domain. So I have got liberty to speak. These guys are launching somewhere around लॉन्च करने वाले. These guys have got, by the way, ऑडियो प्रोडक्ट्स भी इनके बहुत अच्छे स्केल कर, कुछ 100% केगर से बढ़ रहे. दैट इज वन स्टॉप. अनदर इज these guys are entering your MENA markets aggressively also. वो भी एक थिंग टू लुक है. एक निगेटिव था जो मैं बताना भूल गया, वो इन पे थोड़े केसेस वेसेस चल रहे हैं. कुछ डीजे के केसेस पड़े, कुछ आई गेस, मतलब छोटी छोटी बहुत सारी चीजें. तो मैंने उनको बहुत अच्छे से नहीं पढ़ रखा है. आई विल बी मेंशनिंग दोज इन माय फाइनल वर्डिक्ट. बट छोटे से केसेस भी है इसके अंदर. ठीक है, कितने सिग्निफिकेंट है मेरे को याद नहीं, बट देयर आर फ्यू केसेस ऑन दिस कंपनी.
Got it. Thank you, Tanmay. Sachin, you have been patiently waiting for 55 minutes. It's your time for the expert comment before we try and wrap up the space. We are towards the end of the space, though.
All right. Most of it is has already been said. I'll add my point of view here. So some of the marketing that Lenskart is trying to do, or maybe how Mr. Piyush Bansal was briefed by the media expert, that has gone wrong big way. So initially they were saying that they are a spectacles company, or they are making glasses, and Lenskart is this, and now that has suddenly changed to being a consumer tech company. So that has gone wrong big time, and that is adding fuel to fire, to say. So you see all sorts of people making reviews on Lenskart, be it a sports person, be it someone who did prior some political commentary, and now he is commenting on the IPOs. So that is for the media perspective. Now, for the thing that is being mentioned on the valuations, that they have turned profitable by doing some accounting adjustments for that FVTPL, given the India's regulations. So that provision is there. They have did this for this year, which might look optically wrong for some and optically right for some other people. But even if we remove that, they have been getting those interest from mutual funds, forex gains, and FD, fixed deposit interest as well. So even if we look at those figures that are going into other income, that remain year on year, and that is continuing from FY23 to FY24 to FY25. That other income portion is there. So that is not that is has come just right now before the IPO only. It has been for some years, and now it is likely continuing. You remove that FUTPL part, but these figures are going to sustain because the business is generating cash and they are likely investing as well. Now there are some other rumors and some good pointers as well going for that Lenskart integration. Why Lenskart bought it at dirt cheap valuation? Why they are doing it now? Why not later and before? So there are two aspects for that. There is one India's aspect that if you are a deemed subsidiary, you have to consolidate them before IPO. Otherwise, SEBI approve nahi karega, DRHP will go into scrutiny, and you just do not get the IPO approval. Also, जब Lenskart mention कर रहा है कि we are vertically integrated, so this Lenskart acquisition is being factored into that. That earlier Lenskart was a master franchisee, they were separate from Lenskart, and now they have been brought into Lenskart. Earlier उनको royalty payment, Lenskart, the parent company, only gained royalty payment from Lenskart. So they did not get the full benefit of being a master franchising. But now you are getting vertically integrated, so most of the revenue is flowing to Lenskart only, which supports their going forward growth projections and whatever they are trying to mention. So that is all the Lenskart front. And some people I saw on the comments are also saying that some of the promoters and some key known to Mr. Piyush Bansal sold some shares for rupees 230, some bought at and some also sold for rupees 402. So those are promoter what you say disclosures to be made by the IPO coming company. So वो उनको करना पड़ता है. Now why these people did is none of the business of Lenskart and Mr. Piyush Bansal. उन्होंने नहीं कहा उन लोगों को करने के लिए. If they did, they did in their personal capacity. If they do not did, they did nothing on that front. Also on the promoter holding, that rupees 50 to rupees 400 and 8x and whatever is going on. So before the IPO, the Mr. Piyush Bansal held some below 10%, around 9 to 9.1% only. So going for the IPO and going by a non-promoter director, if we can name him Mr. Piyush Bansal, around July. So that was one thing. उस समय उन्होंने उस वैल्यू पे 52 रुपीज पे पर शेयर पे अपने शेयर्स बेच दिए, and there were people who sold shares to him, and those people did have the know-how that there will be an IPO going down the line, and sometime later this year there will be IPO for Lenskart. So why would those people sell majority of their stake to Mr. Piyush Bansal, who is trying to buy at a lower valuation, rather than go for a higher valuation if the IPO actually comes in FY26? That is one thing for that 8x valuation jump in around 3 to 4 months. You should factor that point in. अब आप उस पर अप्लाई करेंगे नहीं करेंगे, that is your own thing, but that I mentioned just to note it down. So personally I will also be applying just for the short term frenzy. Those were the pointers I wanted to add. That's all.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sachin. So it seems that at least the short term move is because this issue is just so much in hype that any views be like, I don't see, like, I can be wrong. And it might list in discount as well, but I'm ready to take that chance, especially in the short term. But it's not an issue which I'm looking for in the long term. I'll tell you why. Because I feel कि new age companies में ना, there's a risk of growth slowing down, and when the growth slows down, the market is just brutal. Like वो फर्स्ट क्राई को जो डेथ हुई थी उस स्टॉक की, simply because the growth slowed down. So growth is so important here that and there are other issues where I have more comfort. Like this might still do very, very well. So I would be applying for this issue and then probably see until momentum remains. Day one, I don't know. Then there was one question which I had read with respect to, see, this is relationship because of which everyone has just taken 0.1% of the anchor book. Nobody is really an anchor, but you can look at it differently as well, where you can say that there's so much demand that nobody has actually gotten a big amount as well. It is up to how you want to read it, right? I would probably still think it is more of two than one. Well, I knew of funds who wanted to get in but didn't. So if they were just trying to fill names, there would be more names as well. But so it's up to you on how you want to look at it. Do you want to look at it कि यार सबको 0.1 0.2 मिल गया because सबको 0.1 0.2 मिल गया because they wanted to diversify and give it to everyone, or you want to look at कि यार everybody who had so much demand that it wasn't fulfilled, and that is where the exact question is. One question saying everybody wants listing in, who will buy from retailers? There are some 147 funds there who have essentially not gotten the stake that they wanted to get. So they would probably come in, is what my hope is. I can be wrong. But it is up to you to figure out what your POV on that is. With that, we are towards the end of the space. I would again say that I would apply for it only for short-term frenzy. I somehow feel that the numbers, especially I'll tell you one more example. You put anything with respect to Lenskart, very positive or very negative, it will start going viral because there is a bot army which is active on both sides, which is not what I like generally. So it is an issue which is special for all the right reasons as well as for the wrong reasons. I would just stay away after applying for short term. I would not say that I'll not apply, but I'll be applying for short term. And again, you do you figure out what works for you. But yeah, that is with respect to Lenskart. Any closing comments, Tanmay, before we end wrap up the space?
No, there are, this is one of those companies जिसमें बात करने को बहुत ज्यादा मतलब और एक घंटा भी बोलो कि we can speak on this company. Like someone has asked यार question कि यार if I'm saying it is the best consumer tech IPO तो मैं इसको short term 25% के बाद क्यों निकालूंगा? I mentioned it very clearly कि मेरे को इसके अंदर 20% दिखता है यार. Like if I get that, I'm okay to get out because if I'm talking on those FY28 numbers, like surely I'm talking on the upside of next one year to like 6 to 18 months rather. तो अगर 6 से 18 महीने का अपसाइड अगर 20 से 25% है वो अगर मुझे शॉर्ट टर्म में मिल रहा है तो why the hell I'm going to hold it? So like my view is clear. Listing gain और short term इसके लिए लगाऊंगा. After that I've got enough companies to track in. It's a very good company. But एक चीज होती है कि मैं what I'm paying to own that stock. After that 20% upside, the thing I'm paying, which is like somewhere around 10 billion, seems high to me. So for that reason, I would be going out after that, 20-25%, here and there again. So that's on that answer. And yes, everyone has got their own perspective. They should have their own perspective. They should talk, on positives, negatives, either which ways. I know even 600 people listening, yes, 400 might be on the negative side, which is extremely fair. It is like you do yours. Okay, but like I have got one urge. Before writing something pathetic, at least try to cope up कि इसके पीछे से ये क्यों किया गया होगा. When this Q answer comes in, आपके अंदर का जो गुस्सा होता है वो yes it might be still negative but गुस्सा कम हो जाता है. So just thinking and writing it somewhere, just try to get in the answer. If you're just going and writing, आप retailer थे, retailer हो, retailer ही रहोगे, आप उसके ऊपर नहीं जा पाओगे. No, this is the difference between a what we can say a large rather
No,
ऐसा एक
won't
mindset
kind of
जो
say
he's
that.
okay to take
I won't
everything.
say that. That would be slightly
क्या?
rude to say. But yeah,
No,
you
that is
do. Yeah,
okay.
you
अरे,
do
see,
you.
what I'm trying to say कि you just expand your mindset.
दो चीजें in fact like before I actually wrap up the space, दो मेरे को इसमें risk दिखते हैं which I want to highlight, which I don't think we have done a good job of highlighting. One is the whole LASIK space picking up, तो technology change हो गया in the
I
long
was
run.
coming on that point next.
तो एक वो रिस्क है, ठीक है, मेजर. एंड सेकंड रिस्क है कि आपका जो कंज्यूमर बिजनेसेस का बकेट है वो ही डीरेट हो जाए. तो अगर वो डीरेट हुआ तो लेंसकार्ट उसके साथ डीरेट होगा ही होगा. आई थिंक लेंसकार्ट इज एग्जॉर्बिडेंटली प्राइस्ड, बट देन everybody in that segment is exorbitantly priced. So don't single out someone and kill it. is what my POV is in the short term. But अगर वो पूरा segment derate होगा, and कभी ना कभी तो होना ही है, right? It can't trade at like those crazy valuations, right? तो जब वो होगा तब Lenskart भी होगा, is what my point of view is. So those are two risks which you need to know of and understand and speak about per se before like actually taking a decision. Although I am applying it for 10 days, so I don't need to care about those. Laser आ जाएगा तो क्या होगा? I'm just being very frank when I'm saying that. But yeah, over to Tanmay.
नहीं, बस मेरे साइड से वही था. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट आई वाज कवरिंग वाज द लेजी ओनली, बिकॉज मैं लिख के रखा था, एंड आई जस्ट हैड फॉरगॉटन टू टॉक ऑन इट. यस, दैट इज अ सीरियस रिस्क, एंड देयर इज बीन क्लेम फ्रॉम अ फंड की यार हमने पूछा था लेसी का क्या होगा, था द कॉल दैट ड्रॉप्ड एंड देन दे सेड वी चोज टू नॉट डू एंकर. देन को पूछा था, उन्होंने कहा कि हमको एंकर में लोकेशन नहीं मिला. सो दिस हैज बीन टू डिफरेंट theories फ्रॉम द सेम पर्सन, सो लेट्स लीव इट देयर. बट यस, लेसिक इज अ कंसर्न. And on that, at least I could not find any answer. मुझे नहीं मिल पाया. Neither it was embarrassment nor it was asked by any reputed or any news channel, news house for that matter. So I don't have answer of that. But I feel it is a risk. So like bottom line is the same. Applying for like 20% upside, उसके बाद छोड़ दूंगा.
Got it. Thanks, Tanmay. Then I would just talk about one more thing. I'll probably remove it from the recording because this is more slightly on a listed company. मेरे को एक comment आया which is saying that I won't apply because the company is promising big growth for the next 5 years. They say they'll expand stores, go global, and use new technology. But let's be honest, nobody really knows what will happen after 5 years. We have seen examples like Ola where things looked great at first, but once strong competition enters, profit and growth got affected badly. Just saying it out here. I've never believed in Ola simply because look at that guy, how efficiently he has used money. He has always been there at the pinnacle of technology. जब cabs आ रही थी तब he was building cabs. जब electric scooters आए तब he was building electric scooters. तो जब ये BESS आ रहा है तो he's building BESS. He has always been at the pinnacle of technology but has never done well with it because like for whatever reason, he's not efficient utilization of capital, or I don't know, but I have never believed in the guy. This guy, on the other hand, has done well. So if you look at, if you were to compare a Ola versus Lenskart and you had to tell me कि किसी एक में तो invest करना ही है, तो I will invest in Lenskart. I'm not even saying कि should I invest in one or two, but I'm not saying that those two are not fair comparisons per se, for me at least. So I would not look at that, and I will kind of remove this point when I'm putting it in the recording.
We had actually a very similar discussion during Ola on the space, and also in the on a call. Like it was an award from our end, and I feel यार Ola is always the laggard in adapting the technology. Also like Ether का clear है, मुझे नहीं बनाना यार. Like he is saying मैं जिसमें अच्छा हूँ मेरे को वही करना है. मुझे हर पेड़ पे नहीं कूदना, मुझे जो पसंद है I will be doing that. And that is a very fair approach, and market has been, अब देखो इधर का market cap ओला से ज्यादा है. So I feel if you want to compare this company, you compare with an ICA, you compare with a Trent, you compare with a DMart, you go with a Titan. आप इनसे compare करो. You don't compare with someone like Ola.
Thanks. And then there's one more pointer which I've received. I'm receiving a lot of DMs today. Specs will be used as a necessary, so LESIC is a very, very small risk per se. I'm not sure if I agree. I've gotten a LESIC done. I don't use specs anymore for the last 4 years. So at least that is what my personal experience is. Can be different for different people, but yeah, that is.
Maybe after 3 years it might be significant. This is also true. 3 years, 4 years down the line it might be significant. Maybe now it is not.
Yeah, so that is with respect to today's space. We are almost towards the end of the space. Thank you. And one last question in terms of how many times QIB will come, it's everybody's guess right now. I would again say I'm not liking how the marketing is being done, especially by the company as well. But again, who knows? I still think QIB will be very heavily subscribed. Big H and I think would be somewhere around 6x, I think 6 to 7x is what I feel personally. Let's see. If it is different, if it is lower, that's good. I still want the issue to be subscribed simply because I want to be able to participate in it. But yeah, that is with respect to the big HNI retail. I don't know because it's a 10% retail. It's already at 1.5. I think it can go up as like 10-12% as well. Who knows? So that is with respect to the subscription. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for joining.
One small question है कि will Piyush remain the promoter post IPO? The answer is yes. And by the way, his shares are also getting locked in for like 6 months के लिए थोड़ा, and for some for 2 years per se. So he'll continue to be promoter.
And for that reason only he bought those shares.
Correct, correct. He had said it on TV. Yeah, I want to continue to be promoter, and I don't want to lock in my private equity guys' shares. For that minimum 25% lock in. So I feel here are two different conflicting opinions here. First is like on a good way is Piyush खुद के shares lock कर रहा है. So he is extreme. He has got skin in the game. He wants to build a business for long term. वो खुद नहीं बेचना चाहते, उसको grow करेंगे. All that stuff. And the second is, if you're not locking in your private equity, they are open to sell. This is another opinion, this is each one. I feel both are extremely genuine and logical. मैं खुद दोनों को logical मानता हूँ. So this is a very personal, मतलब सबका एक अपना subjective चीज है, which is fair from both the ends. It is a fair discussion. So
Perfect, perfect. With that, thank you so much everyone for joining. Have a good day ahead. Hope this was helpful. Again, want to end with that what we are saying might not happen. You do your own due diligence and only act basis that. We'll do one more space with respect to grow. It would also be very controversial, probably will not get the limelight, but if you look at that company's financials also would be very similar or worse off to Lenskart for sure. But I will come back again with grow. With that, thank you so much everyone for joining, and then we'll see you back again. Have a good day. Bye.
thank you everyone.
Thank you.